Well, Adam, I suppose, what's your first thoughts been like of Dundee United?
It's been brilliant so far. There's been a lot of positives. Obviously coming here to the High Performance Centre, speaking to the gaffer, speaking to the boys. It's been absolutely fantastic so far. I've really enjoyed my time. Hope it continues.
What was your draw to United?
A big factor was the manager. I had worked with him previously at Hearts for about 6 months, so I knew how he worked. I knew how he'd done things, and that's the way I like to do things as well. So a massive factor for me was the manager. Like I mentioned, the way he works is harder than anyone else, and more than anyone else, and the quality that we've got in the squad. It's important for us that we give it our best shot at going up this season.
And you, of course, have been down at Swansea for a few years now. I mean, what was like that for leaving Swansea? What was that like for you?
Yeah, to be fair, it was probably time to go. I'd been down there about 5.5 years, had good experiences, some not so good experiences, but that's football, that's life in football, and when this opportunity came up, I jumped at the chance.
Can I ask, was it your contract that ran up, or was it a mutual agreement to
yeah, the contract had ran up, so it was time for me to go anyway, and obviously there was interest from the manager. I think he'd spoke to my agent a little while ago, and after I'd spoken to the manager, it was a stick on to come to this club.
And to come back to Scotland, was that always in your thinking?
Yeah, I was always hoping to come back to Scotland at some point, and to come to a club like Dundee United in the position that we're in now, I think that's a great opportunity. It's a massive opportunity for us to be pushing on this season, doing really well. Like I mentioned, with the squad that we have and the quality that we have in the squad, for us to get up this season and get the club back where it belongs would be absolutely fantastic. I think been in this league a couple of seasons now, so we've got to really push on this season, and I think we can do that with the quality that we have in the squad. And
how do you think you've changed from the Adam King that went down to Swansea to now?
Probably more mature, more experienced. I think what's helped me down there is I went on a few loans, and I worked with a lot of different managers and people that had done things different ways. So you are learning different bits from each one, and I think that helps you massively as a player. Because if you're set and playing one way and you need to be told to change that way with 5 or 6 different managers, then that's only going to improve you, I think. And in your head as well, you can be smarter, I think, with the way you play, and working under different managers improves that, and working with players that I was at Swansea improves that as well. So all in all, probably more experienced player, probably more intelligent on the football park, and that's what I've taken away from my time at Swansea.
You mentioned it was such a big opportunity for Dundee United, but how big an opportunity is it for you personally in terms of your career to come back to Scotland, have a sort of settled period in your career, still at a young age, and sort of make a name for yourself here?
Yeah, massive. It was a massive personal opportunity for me as well, and I think it was the right one for me personally, and like career-wise especially. Like you mentioned, on a personal level, I've got to now play consistently well. And you mentioned I'm still at a young age, but 23 now, I feel like for me personally, I've got to be playing well, and I've got to kind of be settled in one place and enjoy my time and play consistently well.
And I suppose having been away and gone on various loan spells as well will have given you so much experience that you can bring here to Dundee United as well.
Yeah, I think it's not about me personally for us this season, it's about collectively there's people that bring different things to this team. Also brought in quality like Lawrence Franklin. He's scored already in the season. People like that are going to be massive for us. You've got Big Osman so up front, plenty of quality everywhere on the pitch, so I think for us we need to use that quality, we need to utilise what we have in the squad and give it a massive push to get up this season.
How much of an influence was your brother in your move? Because obviously he's been here and we've been able to tell you about Dundee United as a club? Obviously things are changing all the time, but what did he tell you about the club? Did he influence your move here?
Yeah, he did actually. Once I heard there was interest, I spoke to Billy. I gave him a phone and I told him about the opportunity for me to come here, and he was adamant that it was the right move. He was a big influence. He said the training ground's brilliant, the gaffer's brilliant, but obviously I knew the gaffer anyway. So there was plenty of positives coming from his side, and after I'd spoke to him, actually that was the kind of point that I thought, yeah, he's been here, he knows what it's like, he knows the size of the club, and so massive influence. And
you mentioned the manager earlier, how big an influence he was in bringing you here, and you worked with him for about 6 months.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, how much did you take from that time there? Did he influence you even at that early age, do you feel?
Yeah, I think so. I'd worked with only a few coaches since I'd been in full-time football, and he came in and he put his own spin on things, and he encouraged me to play with a calmness and composure, and that worked really well for me. I enjoyed my time working with him, even though it was a short period, and now I've got the opportunity to do it again, so I feel that he can bring me on as a player, with his advice and his experience as well, so it'll be brilliant, I think.
If you were sitting here in a job situation being interviewed by the fans of Dundee United, how would you sell yourself as an individual, Adam King, to these fans?
First thing I'll say is I'll work my socks off. I'll do my best to do what I'm good at on the pitch, which I feel is getting around the pitch, breaking up play, playing passes, keeping things ticking over, supplying the boys up top, out on the wings. I feel like that's my game, and I will do my best week in, week out to provide that.
You'll find that the fans here are very kind of vocal and loyal and follow Dundee United in large numbers. Is that something you have been used to in your previous ventures?
Yeah, I've seen obviously most fans are passionate, but from what I've seen already here, massively passionate, and that was only in a couple of friendlies, and obviously away at Hearts the other night, you could see it. It was clear to see what it means to the fans here, and it'll be massive for the fans and for the club and everyone at the club to get up this season.
You mentioned obviously your brother Billy was influential on yourself coming here, but the all important question is, who's the better player?
I've been told that he said me, but I'm not sure. I'm pretty modest. I think we're different players. Billy's more of an out-and-out winger, and I'm the kind of guy that provides Billy with the ball, so to go and do what he does. So.
And you've played a few different roles across midfield. I mean, do you have a preference? Do you prefer to be more central or out wide?
Yeah, central. I think that's my natural position, central midfield. I have played wide a few times, but I'd say central is my more natural position, and probably where I'll do my best stuff, my best work on the pitch. Whether that's attacking, defending, or box to box, I'm happy to do all three, and I'll do all three wherever I'm played on the pitch.
And just finally from myself, first competitive fixture, you were involved in the matchday squad on Friday. I mean, kind of, what was that like for you? You didn't play, but to be kind of in the squad, on the bench, going back to Tynecastle, I mean, kind of, that just give you the extra buzz to get playing?
Yeah, it was brilliant to be part of the matchday squad. Obviously I just signed a day or two before, so it was great to be part of the squad. Going back to Tynecastle, great venue for our first competitive game in this campaign. And the boys put in a great shift. I think we showed intent for us to now kick on. But like you mentioned, being around Tynecastle and the Dundee United fans as well for the first competitive game, you could see the intent that this club has got going forward.